What's up guys, we are back with the patch 11.0 Banjo matchup chart. Today we're going to be going over his even matchups. Remember, this is very opinionated from my own experiences. So make sure to drop a like in the video and comment down below if you agree or disagree with my opinions and how I am terribly wrong or perfectly right. Let's jump right into it, but before, remember that I stream on Twitch at twitch.tv/jplay__, Smash, miscellaneous, variety, whatever. Make sure to tune in there and follow me there. First up, we have Captain Falcon. Captain Falcon is uber fast and out-frame Data's Banjo with almost all of his moves. That can be overwhelming for Banjo, and so sometimes in neutral he'll lose some heavy interactions. However, Banjo can stuff out a lot of his approaches with tilts, combo his landings with eggs, or just use grenade off platforms. So really the interactions go back and forth because Banjo can stuff out approaches, but also once he gets grabs, he can take a lot of damage. And then also with his linear recovery, unless you're using Wonder Wing to go horizontal, Falcon can spike that recovery pretty easily. So you have to be really careful on recovery. You can also get Falcon off stage with eggs, inhibiting him from returning. So in neutral, it's a back and forth game of playing to their strengths, but overall it is an even matchup and it's anyone's game. Next up, we have Samus and Dark Samus. This amiibo looks awesome, I don't care what anyone says. So we have Samus and Dark Samus. So they have a lot of projectiles, they have their tether grab, and they have pretty decent movement and strong aerials. So Banjo actually trades with a lot of the projectiles. Grenade cancels out full charge shot, and medium to small are canceled out by egg. They trade. Also, missiles can trade with egg as long as it's one egg and not Regal Blaster egg. Back air can outspace Nair, but Samus's forward air and back air will outspace Banjo and can punish him pretty hard. Banjo doesn't really have any move on Samus's shield that can be super effective just because Samus and Dark Samus have the up B out of shield that is super fast and super effective. You definitely have to dash in and out to grab or to use tilts. You'll want to use grenades and eggs when they are charging their charge shot, and when they go to release it, that's when you Wonder Wing, because the end lag will be caught by Wonder Wing, as well as missiles will be caught by Wonder Wing and any of those slower options. Ledge trapping can be really good for Banjo and for Samus, and so you have to really play around that. You can just drop a grenade at ledge and wait for them to get up and react accordingly. Samus will use Zair in neutral really well to kind of push Banjo away, but you can duck it if they miss-space it, or just dash up shield and wait for your option to get in. So really it is a back and forth with them, and it really just depends on who has momentum of the match to see who will take it. Next up, we have Pit and Dark Pit. Pit and Dark Pit do have some slight differences, like their arrows and side Bs. However, the game plan is kind of similar with them. Banjo can outspace a lot of their moves with forward air and back air, and use Nair to catch them when they're in the air. Ledge trapping can be kind of difficult just because you can release a grenade, but they have all their jumps and their up B, which just kind of shoots them up. Not great to try to two-frame, but just solid ledge trapping, waiting at roll distance, waiting for jump call-outs, things like that. In neutral, they like to approach with aerials, run up grab, and so once again, dash back tilts, neutral air to catch them in aerial approaches, and grenades to catch them out of the air. Be careful of their reflector, and even their reflector will stop Wonder Wing and will clank and shatter, but it will not do any damage to them, and there'll be a lot of end lag that they can punish. They can use arrows to stuff Banjo out in the air because Banjo's airspeed is so awful, and so they can cut that out. But they are some of the most honest characters in the game with no real cheese. And so Banjo definitely forces them to play a really honest game, and he can be dishonest as well in taking those stocks. Next, we have Duck Hunt. Duck Hunt actually has a lot of similar things to Banjo. Like Duck Hunt's down tilt is very similar to Banjo, although Banjo's might be a little more DLC. He doesn't have a lot of DLC stuff, but his down tilt is pretty DLC. Duck Hunt has can and his down B, and then the discus. But the thing is, these moves are really great, but Banjo's Regal Blaster will actually hit the can back and cancel out the discus if hit correctly. Grenade will also explode the can, and grenade and egg will also stuff out the down B. The only issue is, though, that Duck Hunt can get some really nice grabs and combo the heck out of Banjo in the air with up air and back air because of Banjo's low speed in the air. As long as you're avoiding can, and the other issue too with avoiding can is if you Wonder Wing, can will stall you, the gunman will stall you, and so literally you can Wonder Wing, they throw out a can, stalls, they shield, they punish you hard. And so you really have to play around that when you're playing against Duck Hunt and be aware of what you're going to hit when you use Wonder Wing, what spacing you can do, and react accordingly. Next, we have King K. Rool. So you're probably thinking, King K. Rool is a heavy, and Banjo does decently against heavies, so why is this even? Well, with all of K. Rool's armor, this beats out a lot of Banjo's stuff. Like if he tries Briggle Blaster, or if he tries Grenade through K. Rool's crown, then nothing will happen. He just beats it out because of all his armor, and crown will go straight through Briggle Blaster and all that stuff and knock you out of it, allowing for him to have some really decent follow-ups on you. His forward air and back air also are really good when they're spaced properly, and they can catch Banjo out of a lot of his moves as well. His up air is also super strong, and Banjo can't do much against it. Kind of the thing you have to do with K. Rool is get your openings with Briggle Blaster or Grenade and really capitalize on them. Like landing forward air into dash attack, Briggle Blaster into Nair, a Grenade into forward air or Wonder Wing, and just really build up that damage because he's a big boy and he has all that armor to protect him. He will also try to land with Nair, so you definitely want to shield and make sure that you're not just landing on armor, which will cause you to be punished, such as down smash, forward tilt, those kind of things. Off stage, K. Rool has his decent recovery. You can go off with descending back air to catch him out of it, or if you're feeling really risky, if you down air for the spike hitbox right on propeller, it will actually trade spiking him and shooting you up in the air. So it's risky because you need to make sure you have the correct spacing and the correct alignment, or else you can kill yourself or you might not get the spike. So just be aware of that. Blunderbuss is also really good against Banjo because he uses the cannon. He can suck in Wonder Wing and shoot you out without taking any damage. But if you space Wonder Wing above it so it'll hit through his head, then he'll take damage and you'll be fine. So just be very aware of playing around his armor and around the Blunderbuss and the crown so that Banjo doesn't get stuffed out by these options. Next we have Luigi. Banjo is great combo weight for Luigi's 0 to death, and you really have to look out for that. However, with Banjo's grenades, you can self-inflict to get you outside of those percents of those 0 to death combos. Just grab them, run away, let it explode, etc. This puts you at a disadvantage percent-wise, but might be smarter in the long run by not allowing Luigi to get those grabs. Also, you can use Briggle Blaster to stuff out fireballs, grab in neutral, and so really forcing Luigi to dance around, roll, try to land on you with aerials, try to get his combo started in other ways. Grenade's also good for catching his landings, as well as forward tilt. When Luigi is trying to recover, that's when you can use eggs, because he will actually, if an egg comes down and hits his side B, it will stall him in the air, and he'll have to go again, and you can keep stalling. And you can even go off stage and try using back air or nair drag down, or use your up B platform. But the thing is, Luigi's really good at reversals, so if you miss and he recovers, he can immediately go down and down air you, since Banjo's recovery is so linear, so be aware. Also, Banjo will take a lot of damage by any grab from Luigi, so you have to be aware and ready to spot dodge or outspace so you don't get plungered. Overall, very even, very back and forth, just depends on who is going in more and who is playing around the other safely. Next we have Link. Link has a lot of projectiles, including bomb, arrow, boomerang, and a lot of these can be really helpful in neutral, especially against Banjo. Link's Nair is super good, and it extends its hitbox, it stalls its hitbox in the air, so you can jump fastball with it and it will connect against Banjo. Thankfully, Briggle Blaster will trade with all of his projectiles, and Briggle Blaster will cancel out boomerang, arrow, and it'll stall bomb. Grenade will actually explode bomb because it's an explosive. So it's really good to get around those. You definitely have to play around Link's grabs, down throw, up tilt, or back air into up B by spacing correctly. You definitely just don't want to get caught jumping because he can throw boomerang high and then run in low. And so you just really have to be aware of that option as Banjo. But definitely lots of back airs, lots of landing up airs into nairs and combo starters to get that damage. Off stage, Egg, super good. Grenade, super good because he has the hitbox on his up B, but you can use that to gimp and hit him out and prevent him from recovering. You just need to know the angles, know their patterns, and punish accordingly. Now we have Marth. First and foremost, this amiibo looks awful, and I'm glad they've improved the quality. Marth is a really good sortie in general, but he struggles to kill because his tippers can be inconsistent. Now with his new buffs in 11.0, that actually does make the tippers more consistent. It is like a scarier matchup. But Banjo goes even just because he can dash back tilt, and he has that same range as them, and so he can stuff out aerial approaches. Marth love approaching with Nair or run up grab. He can also use up tilt for landing aerials. He can also use down air to catch some chases in the air. He can use Briggle Blaster to catch approaches from the air, and he can also use retreating back air to catch Marth as they approach. Unfortunately, Marth has the invincible up B, so it's really hard to 2-frame or take advantage of that at all, and so you just have to play around it and ledge trap solidly, or else you could get reversaled really easily. Dancing Blade is super good, as well as shield breaking Banjo, because you can catch yourself sitting in shield, not wanting to get grabbed, not wanting to get hit by aerials, so you really have to dash dance a lot not to get hit by that. And you can release grenades and space out, forcing them to shield, then you can punish accordingly. Marth has that same game plan. Lucina actually is in losing, and I'll explain that later. Next we have Meta Knight. Meta Knight is small, but has really good frame data and can be really fast and catch Banjo's bad air drift and bad mobility. He has really fast moves, down tilt, F smash is a neutral tool, and so this can be hard to contest. Thankfully, Briggle Blaster will cancel out of Tornado, can clank with his side B, and he can get caught by Wonder Wing by those moves as well. Wonder Wing can also catch his up B when recovering, if not done properly. Grenade will stuff out a lot of these options as well, and so a lot of dash back tilts to catch him. A lot of dash back F tilt, dash back down tilt to catch landing, especially if they like to land with Nair, and lots of up air to catch them if they're high as well. You definitely just have to be careful not to get in too much, because then Meta Knight will punish you, you get ladders, and deal all this damage. You definitely want to use Wonder Wing to recover, just because Meta Knight has all those jumps, it can mix up the way they edge guard and keep you off stage. Meta Knight is not an amazing character, but it can be difficult just because Banjo struggles against characters that outframe him, because most of his options are good from a mid-range, whereas if they're up in your face, you'll struggle. Next, we have Ness. So Ness is kind of similar to Lucas, but they do play differently. Ness's PK Fire and will engulf you in fire is not really a hit projectile. The PK Thunder is a stronger rocket that will launch you away. PSI Magnet covers his body, his up air is a multi-hit, his back air is super strong, his forward air is a multi-hit, and his down air is a good spike. So Ness is a really solid character, and Banjo has to play around all of his different options, because all of Ness's aerials are basically safe on shield if they're spaced properly, making it almost impossible for Banjo to punish him out of shield. So you really have to bait out those aerials by dashing in and dashing out at the correct distance, because his forward air will catch you if your dash out isn't quick enough. Briggle Blaster is really good at catching Ness out of PSI Magnet stalls, out of aerial approaches, and it does clank with PK Fire. You just have to stop moving though, because it'll clank, and wherever that clank, the fire will start. So it's good for starting that and stuffing that out, but you still will want to shield the PK Fires. Also Grenade, he can shield Grenade to heal, but if you release Grenade and throw it at him and he's in PSI Magnet, if it connects with Ness, then he actually will take the damage and not heal anything. Because the grenade has two hitboxes. One, the impact of the grenade, and then the explosion of the grenade. Similar to Snakes, how when you get hit by a grenade, you take a little bit of damage, and then when it explodes, you take more. So you gotta play around the projectiles. When Ness is off stage, his air dodge up the stage can be 2-framed by down tilt, down smash, Wonder Wing. Eggs are super good for catching his PK Thunder recoveries. Just need to have the correct angles. Down B can be good to just pop them up, and then you can follow up. Solid ledge trapping, just literally wait at roll distance and react accordingly. Now we have Joker. Joker is one of the few top tiers that Banjo goes even with or doesn't lose 2. So this might be surprising, but because Joker has insane frame data and a great side B projectile, the thing is, Joker can be weak without Arsene, and Banjo can take really early stocks. Because Banjo can rack up damage with his neutral B and with Brigo Blaster, because it stuffs out Joker's side B. He can use grenades to catch landings, because Jokers like to run up and do short hops with aerials. They also like to run up grab, which you can stuff out just with Banjo's jab, which is frame 3. Brigo Blaster to up tilt will net you early kills against Joker and Arsene. And then off stage, when he's trying to recover, you can use eggs. What better would be ledge trumping as soon as he latches the ledge, and trumping him with back air, which will kill super early. Joker is a really good character, and Arsene is an insane comeback mechanic, but Banjo has the tools to keep him at a distance and really stuff out a lot of his options. Like, especially with gun and down gun, you can really just go under a platform and then punish with up tilt, up air, or dash back F tilt to catch him. Grenade will explode if gun is shot horizontally at it, and so you just need to be aware of that and space it properly. Best way to use grenade against him is either off a platform or grabbing it and throwing it directly at him, or is he dropping it on top of shield, etc. You also can bait out the down B Rebels guard by doing a grenade or a neutral B and letting it go near them, like has B, neutral B will bounce and grenade will roll. You can run up and grab because they'll assume that it'll explode and give them that Arsene meter. Now we have Pac-Man. Pac-Man is a really good character with lots of projectiles and insane setups. Thankfully, most of the fruit that he charges will clank with Brigo Blaster, making it difficult for Pac-Man to use them in neutral sometimes. His grenade will also explode and can be used, grabbed, and thrown at Pac-Man, and it will explode on impact. The one thing to watch out for is Hydrant from above, because Banjo can't really chase quickly from above, so he can drop Hydrant, so you'll just want to shield it and then react accordingly to what the Pac-Man does after. Banjo, once again, is good combo weight, and so he can get fair strings and kill you 0 to death with fair strings after some kind of fruit setup, so be aware of that. He has the extended grab, so you can't be spot dodging him. You need to dash back in and out. You can use F tilt, down tilt. Wonder Wing will get grabbed by that extended grab range, so definitely don't want to be randomly Wonder Winging in neutral. His trampoline can be gimped with egg, because if you shoot it. Also his pellet with his side B, if you shoot that with egg, that can be gimped. So be aware of that, of ways you can gimp him from recovering. Pac-Man is really solid, great F smashes that linger, and so make sure to find ways to outspace him and not lose interactions, because Banjo can get a lot with Brigo Blaster, because you take out the fruit and then you keep going and start him into a ladder. Next we have Mewtwo. Mewtwo is a decent character, and his Shadow Ball is really strong, as well as his other special moves, because he can kill you super early, disable into down smash, kills dummy early for no reason. The thing is, Banjo excels against this character because of the tail hitbox, because his up tilt will catch the tail at almost any point. Brigo Blaster to up tilt kills super early, especially because he is light, especially because it is easy to connect. You should be careful with grenades though as you chuck them, because his reflector will send them right back at you, and if you're just very obvious with your Brigo Blaster approaches, he can reflect that back at you as well, causing you to take your own shots. Back air is super good because his forward air has a good distance but isn't a disjoint, and so you'll be able to trade and stuff him out. Nair is good, but however his Nair is better, and so if you trade, he'll definitely win that interaction. Watch out for up air and back air, as they will outspace Banjo, and make sure to not get down aired with your up B recovery. Definitely need to mix that up somehow. When you're recovering, release your grenade, catch it, and when you're going down to recover, throw it upward so he can't catch you, and then spring pad to ledge. So neutral interactions, it really is back and forth. It's just Mewtwo can be very good, very strong if he gets one grab, down throw into Nair, into forward air, so you have to play around that. And definitely use projectiles wisely and not in a linear pattern, or he'll be able to take advantage of them and stuff you out and kill you quickly. Next up, Pichu. Pichu is a small little rat, and you might find this difficult to believe that they do go even. Just a lot of it because Banjo's down tilt and forward tilt really stuffs out a lot of Pichu's grounded approaches. And then if they go for grabs, you can just hold jab, and the frame 3 jab will actually pick him up as he tries to grab you. This is also good for Squirtle. T-Jolts will trade with Brigo Blaster and cancel each other out. Grenade will also trade, but can be really good when Pichu's trying to approach. Also, when you see Pichu trying to up your recovery to ledge, you can use down tilt or side B to catch him off guard. He is small, so Briegel Blaster and the new up tilt will kill him ridiculously early for this character, especially if you're playing on a stage like Battlefield. A ladder up to the top with up tilt will kill him ridiculously early. It used to be, I think, like 85%. It'd probably be 80% now if you started it. Pichu is really strong, really good back air, really strong thunder, just a glass cannon, so you have to play around that. But Banjo can space really well with his back air and with his tilts, because it's not similar to Pikachu, where Pikachu has a hitbox on its up B, so using that as an approach tool won't be super effective. That was not on purpose. Next we have Mega Man. Mega Man is another one of the ones that has lots of projectiles, but Banjo's projectiles will trade as well. You just have to be aware of when to use each one. Pellets can be really annoying, but Briegel Blaster can trade with them some, but pellets come out faster, so you just need to know how to use them. If he does use pellets, you can use Wonder Wing to stuff that out. Careful with his up air, because it will carry you to the top of the stage, and like I've said, his air mobility is really weak, and so you can't let him take advantage of that. His back air and Banjo's back air are actually the same exact thing, and so when you're recovering from off stage, try to go to horizontal with Wonder Wing or go low, or else going high, Mega Man can catch you and kill you super early. With Mega Man, because he has a lot of projectiles, you kind of have to play the projectile trade game, get grenades, throw them at him, Z-drop them, shoot eggs, just kind of get to that point, build up damage slowly until you get in, and then find ways to kill him with berries, Wonder Wing, egg setups, or just simple edge guards.